What's up, FPL gaffers? Welcome back to my channel for another FPL video. In this video, I will be taking you through my post game week analysis, and this one has finished now. I have finished on 63 points all out. I have finished 3 points above the average FPL score. Unfortunately, this time it is my first red arrow in FPL after 6 game weeks. Actually, after 7 game weeks, but 1 game week just counts where you keep the rank, and then you have game weeks where you can climb and get the green arrows, or it is red arrows where you come down the ranks. But it is my first red arrow. I am not upset about it, and let me show you how I got or how I did in this game week. Because it is a Monday, I'm going to try and keep it as short as possible. So let me show you how I did in this game week. So to start off in goal, I had Robert Sanchez, of course, playing a tough fixture at Stamford Bridge against Liverpool. Comes out with a 2-pointer, did concede a goal against Liverpool. Uh, Cody Gakpo did score. Those of you who had Cody Gakpo, well done to you. Unfortunately, he wiped out Robert Sanchez clean sheet. So a blank for me and Robert Sanchez in my FPL team. Moving on to the defense, I had Mickey van de Ven, again, Leeds United and Noah Okafor wiping out that Tottenham clean sheet. And Mickey van de Ven again coming out with a blank and just getting 2 points. I was considering using my wildcard in game week 8 after the international break, but I am going to take some time over this international break to actually consider whether it's worth it for me to use the wildcard, or if I could just get away with a free transfer or even a -4. I am very reluctant on the -4, but if I really have to take the -4 and then use the wildcard in somewhere around game week 11, 12, where some more teams have better fixtures, I'm going to try and prolong the wildcard. But in game week 8, I'm going to try and fix it with my free transfer or take a -4 to fix the problem in my team. My next pick was Mark Gahey. Of course, was looking sharp, had the defensive contributions, also had the clean sheet at the end of it, but came out with only 3 points. Of course, Everton wiping that clean sheet out and getting the winner through Jack Grealish, not helping the cause for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace losing their first match in 17-18 games now. So Mark Gay coming out with 3 points. Of course, Mark Gay almost scored in the first half. Unfortunately, you do need some luck in FPL when you're playing this game. Luck didn't favor Mark Gay. He comes out with only 3 points because he got the DEFCON and the minutes played, but also conceded 2 goals, which got him a -1 point from those 4 points that he made. My next pick now, however, it might be a surprise to all of you. As I said, I was going to get Gabriel. This pick basically has lost me 3 points on my game week simply because Gabriel was yellow flagged before the game week. So I thought I'm not going to risk it in case he comes out in the match, in between, maybe he gets substituted off. So I went for the safer pick in Saliba. I also had Jurien Timber in mind, but unfortunately, because of the minutes, I thought he might get rested. Something like that came into my mind, and I went for William Saliba. Not disappointed. He came up with the 6 points. No DEFCON, unfortunately. No bonus, but Gabriel comes up with the DEFCON in the last few minutes of the game, gets 1 point bonus, so a 3 point loss for me on that move. I'm not upset about it. It is FPL. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, and that's how I get over things in FPL. My next pick is Nico Williams. I expected one last hurrah from him. Unfortunately, comes out with a 0 from it. Conceded 2 goals from Newcastle, a very strong Newcastle, in fact, and had a yellow card shown to him in the first half. So No points from Nico Williams, unfortunately, in the team. I might be looking to sell him this game week, or if I'm not using the wild card, I might bench him in this game week playing against Chelsea at home, of course. But I will assess after the international break on what is to be done. Moving on to my midfield, I actually cannot say that Bruno Fernandes was frustrating this game week because he did take an amazing shot from outside the box, but brilliantly saved by Roofs in the Sunderland goal. He tipped it onto the crossbar, and that was it for Bruno Fernandes. It looked like it was heading for the top bins, but unfortunately, Bruno Fernandes comes out with the 3 points. Was also on course for DEFCON points for Bruno Fernandes, was on 11 on Saturday, but today there was updates made to those DEFCON points on Bruno Fernandes. He then finished on 9, which makes it a mile away from those DEFCON points. So he did end up on just 3 points for the game week. Although it was Sunderland at Old Trafford, Bruno Fernandes comes out with a blank. My next pick is someone who I have been talking a lot about, Antoine Semenyo. 18 points from the game week, scoring 2 goals, assisting 1, and getting all the full 3 bonus points. What a player this has been. Of course, again, expect another price rise for Antoine Semenyo coming soon. There's not much that can be said about this player. If you have him in, you just keep him in your team and play him every game week. If you do not have him in your team, it is essential by now to get him in your team and just keep him in your playing 11. Moving on to my next pick, I had Moises Caicedo. This guy has a rocket in his boot. What a shot against Liverpool from outside the box, sending the Chelsea fans into raptures. Did get the first goal against Liverpool. Of course, missed out on one DEFCON, finished on 11 CBITs, as they say, and did not make those 2 added DEFCON points. I think that would have helped a little more if Moises Caicedo did get those DEFCON points. It would help me and my ranking, of course. 2 points, we say, it is a big difference in FPL. That luck matters as well. But Caicedo coming with the goal, 2 points for minutes played, and the full 3 bonus for Moises Caicedo, finishing on 10 points. And my next pick is Richarlison. Played in the 12:30 slot on Saturday. The minute the fixtures came out, I saw Richarlison on the bench. I said, here goes, and here comes my first red arrow of the season. The minute I saw Richarlison on the bench, I said, that is it. That's my first red arrow. And I wasn't upset about it after all. I had picked Richarlison as a punt a few game weeks ago, and this is how it has paid off. I don't mind it. I am looking to maybe replace Richarlison this game week, as in the one that's going to come after the international break. But if not, if I use the wildcard, then it will be almost a full squad change. If not, Richarlison will be the top priority to move out of this team at the moment. My next pick is João Pedro, however. Again, getting a bit frustrated with João Pedro. The fixtures have been a bit difficult. Of course, Chelsea have been taking red cards in the last few matches. Chelsea did get another red card in the Liverpool match, but fortunately this time it was for the manager in Enzo Maresca, so he is going to be on the sidelines against Nottingham Forest away. And João Pedro coming up with a blank, so making just 2 points in this fixture, getting subbed for Mark Guew in the 78th or 80th minute, if I remember correctly. My next pick, the monster Erling Haaland, scores the winning goal, wins 1-0 against Brentford and gets 2 bonus points. Was my captain, finishes on 16 points in total. On the bench, I had Martin Dubravka, again finished on 2 points. El Hadji Malik Diouf again was on the bench, did get the DEFCON points, but of course did concede 2 goals against Arsenal, so no clean sheet. Did get a minus for conceding 2 goals. Also had the DEFCON points, so finishes on 3. Potts, a late introduction to the game, given a chance, finishes on 1 point. And Dewsbury Hall, who was suspended for the game against Crystal Palace, finishes on 0 points. That is all for my game week analysis, guys. If you enjoyed this video, if you've got so far in this video, please hit that like and subscribe button down below. And I will see you next Tuesday, not the Tuesday coming this game week, not the day after tomorrow. Next Tuesday. It is international break, so the content will be a bit less. I will see you next Tuesday for Thinking Ahead on Tuesday, and peace.